I'd met my wife when I came back to Los Angeles. She was at UCLA at the time. She was a junior at UCLA. And we had been dating we dated for like 2.5 months before we got engaged. And so we were already engaged at this point.
2.5 months?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was, you see what you like, move fast, right? Take it off the market.
I like it.
Yeah.
That is smart.
I encourage it. I think that people dating for 5-6 years at a time, if you can't make your mind up within year one, I think that you probably need to move on. I think people date for too long. They tend to talk themselves into long-term.
You're gonna get us in trouble here now, bro.
Yeah. Well, listen, whenever I meet, people who are say, how long have you been dating? They'll say 2 years. I'm like, so what are you waiting for? Either get married or get off the pot, Like
that is true.
Like people are scared of commitment though, right? Yeah. Then it's a lifelong thing after that.
For sure. But you shouldn't, but my view is different when it comes to dating than everybody else's, right? Because I was always dating for marriage. So my father had always said, and I think he's right, that you only meet the person you're going to marry when you already believe that it's time to get married. People tend to meet a person, date a person. They're like, oh, I'll fall into marriage. I'll fall in love with them, and then I'll decide to get married. Wrong. You decide you're going to get married, then you meet the person you can fall in love with because you're thinking in a different way. When you're dating for marriage, you have a set of values that are in your head. What do you want your life to look like? How do you want your life to be structured? What do you want to teach your kids? What kind of community? Like these are really important questions because Jonathan Haidt, the psychologist, social psychologist, he talks about sort of the trajectory of relationships and love. And what he says is that at the very beginning, this is true for every relationship. At the very beginning, there's a lot of passionate love and very low levels of what he calls companionate love. Companionate love is sort of like trust and knowledge of the other person. You don't know the other person. How could you? Passionate love is like, I want to be with them all the time. A lot of sexual attraction here. We got like the sparks are flying. And in every relationship, after a couple of years, you start to see a decline in the passionate love and an increase in the companionate love, which is why you'll see couples who are 70 years old. And it's not like they're, going at it 24 hours a day. It's more like they feel like they're integrated with one another. It's almost like one unit. And so when you're dating for marriage, yes, the passionate love will be there, but you're also trying to look beyond what that 2-year passionate love period is going to look like to what is the rest of your life going to look like. And that sets up a whole different expectation of the person you're dating and for yourself, right? Why are you actually in the room with this person? Is it because they're good looking and because they're sexy? Or is it because this is a person you actually want to spend serious amounts of time with and maybe commit to?
Yeah.
And so that sets up, like my first date with my wife was like a 3-hour date where we went to Coffee Bean in Santa Monica. And then we walked on the beach. This is before it was taken over by drug addicts and the mentally ill. And we walked for 3 hours on the beach talking about like free will and determinism and religion. And
dude,
so
I mean, my relationship's never gone that deep. I have not analyzed anything like that. So
yeah, well, I mean,
I think I need to.
You have to first decide whether you think it's time in your life to get serious about marriage. And if it is, then you have